Hey guys, it's Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video. And hello Clipper fans. The Clippers yet again gets another W. And today, we didn't lose another afternoon, early morning game. Well, for us in California, if you checked out the game, it was a 10 a.m. start time for us. But in New York, it was an afternoon game for them. And the Clippers came away with a W and beat the New York Knicks by the score of 129 to 115. Um, Listen, the Clippers again, like I said, when I did the when I well, I didn't do my Orlando Magic, I didn't do Orlando Magic game recap, but if you follow me on Twitter, um I said that this team looks vastly different now that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George comes out because this team's more complete of a team and stuff like that. So I loved what I saw with the Clippers against Orlando. And here, this game for the most part was a hard-fought, gritty win up until the end when the Clippers eventually pulled away from the Knicks. And my thing on the Knicks, listen, I will give credit where credit is due. The Knicks definitely are not looking like the Knicks of a few years ago where they were just mediocre at best. I will say this. The Knicks, they are a respectable team where they should garner, in a team's respect because this team plays hard. And trust me, that's all due to Tom Thibodeau. Although his stint in Minnesota wasn't good, if not, was probably his worst stint in his coaching career. In Chicago, we all know famously what he did. Well, he probably Chicago, he overused the players in Chicago, and essentially because of that, they essentially got tired till the very end, and they couldn't finish through. And I was a fan. I was a fan of his Bulls teams, no lie. But what he's done with the New York Knicks, he's really looked like, even though they're 9-12, he looks like he's, inspired something within the players to play, more assertive, play harder, something that was different from last year's Knicks team and even the year before that when they were just a laughing, stock of the league. You can technically say they're kind of the laughing stock, but honestly, I don't know who you would consider the laughing stock of the NBA right now. Because honestly, if you ask me, some teams are actually, even some of the bad ones, are actually playing pretty respectable. They may not be doing good, but they play respectable enough where, okay, you can have their respect. And again, credit to the Knicks. What is it quickly? He was good. He was good. He had 25 points off the bench. Again, we saw that cool moment between him and Lou Williams where he said, essentially idolized, and he said Lou Williams was his favorite, basketball player at a time, and stuff like that. So, yeah. RJ Barrett, he's obviously coming into his own. If that dude also gets a jump shot, I guess you can say, because he has some semblance of a jump shot, he's going to be a really good player for the Knicks. Julius Randle, who's honestly been killing it this season, he dropped another 27 points. He's honestly a force to be reckoned with. He's taking his game to the next level. And it's funny too, because it's damn, Julius Randle and Ingram, bro, those two ever since leaving the Lakers have balled out and come into their own. Now it took Julius Randle a bit because he had a stint with the Jazz. And then he went to New York and had a few years in New York. But ever since he got to New York, he's been killing it. And he's been, I guess the player that the Lakers were hoping to have. But it just didn't play out for them. And then Ingram, we see what Ingram's doing in New Orleans, especially what he did last year when he had his coming out party and stuff like that. And you wonder, even though the Lakers are in a pretty good position, you still wonder, damn, how would they look like if the Lakers had just watched them and kept them and watched them develop anymore? But then at the same time, they might have not still been on the team. Regardless, they played the Clippers really hard and they gave them fits and runs for their money because their defense was pretty stingent and stuff like that. And again, the Knicks are a young team. And the thing about a young team is, when you're playing these elite teams like the Clippers, you got to make sure you take advantage and you have to play damn nearly perfect against these teams because, yes, you can play hard, but at the same time, it goes down to making the right type of plays. And late in that game, the Knicks weren't playing a game like quickly. There was one part in the fourth quarter, he just was dribbling the ball down the court and he just pulled up from honestly, the logo court thinking he was going to make a shot and he literally missed. And I was like, as a Clipper fan, I'll take it. But I'm like, I don't know if I would have taken that shot. You got to play a smarter possession there. But yeah. Anyways, the Clippers, they look good today. They were in a dogfight. For essentially all four quarters. Again, up until really the 3-minute mark when they eventually got it to a lead big enough to where they could sit their starters for a bit. That was kind of it. Nicholas Batum didn't play in this game because I think they said he had a left quad contusion. We don't know if he's going to be available for that Brooklyn Nets game. Hopefully he is. I definitely can't wait to see that Brooklyn Nets game. I can't wait to see what the Clippers are going to do against the Brooklyn Nets. But Patrick Patterson got the start today, and he showed up today. He definitely did. He hit all of his shots and made 13 points. And honestly, what can I ask for? Patrick Patterson, if I'm going to get this Patrick Patterson that's going to come in and shoot the ball, like this, and have complete confidence, which is the opposite of what Luke Kennard is, which I'll get into in a few minutes, that's fine by me. If he's going to be a serviceable player where he's getting the points and he's not becoming a liability, that's fine. But hey, Patrick Patterson, he's that guy you bring in when you just have injuries and stuff like that. Although, you can say that he is getting paid only $3 million for his contract. Why the point we have him, we don't play him. Yeah, I can understand that aspect, but he's a good guy to fit in. And again, he's one of those guys where he even said it in his post-game press conference. Listen, it's a next man up mentality. So you got to stay ready for whenever your name's called. And that's the one thing I like about this Clippers team. Some of the players, especially on this road trip for the few games that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were out, then when they were given the opportunities, they came in and had to do their thing. So, yeah, Kawhi Leonard, he almost had 30 points tonight, but regardless, he was great. He had another posterizing dunk on somebody. I think it was RJ Barrett. He was great today. He really, killed it in that third quarter like he typically does. And that's one thing about the Clippers. I think Ty Lue's essentially stressing the need, especially from the last playoff series we were in with the Nuggets, is having a good third quarter, because having good third quarters can change games on how you win or how you lose. We saw in the playoff series, the Clippers would have these very poor third quarters against the Denver Nuggets and essentially cost them the game in those 3 straight games. When you have a very good executed third quarter, I'm not saying you will win the game, but it puts you in a better spot to win the game. So that's another good thing. And listen, they're like the best third quarter team in the league, I believe. So credit to them. Serge Ibaka, he's doing his thing. Nothing else I got to say about Serge Ibaka. Paul George, he did have an off game. He did have an off game, but listen, everybody's entitled to their own off game. So yeah, I thought he was still serviceable. I thought he still played a solid enough game. Yeah, he was only 7 of 16 from the field, and he only made one of his 3-point shots. And it's funny because after that game, there was some random Paul George hater, the Paul George P, the pandemic or playoff P type of people who like to go roast Paul George because he had an off night. Okay, but guess what? He still had a pretty solid game, having 17 points and then 2. We still got the W. But the one thing you want to tweet out is, oh, he finished 1 of 7 or 1 of 8 from 3-point. People, grow up. Like, literally, the hate Paul George gets literally is non-existent. Again, it's the meme of when Paul George actually plays a really good game, nobody's around to be seen. And even if it is in the playoffs. And that happened a few times in the playoffs last year. There were people want to talk about the issues with Paul George in the playoffs last year. There were some games in that playoffs. There were some games in that Denver Nuggets series. He actually showed up and he actually came out and played. People, are just too busy buying into the whole, oh, Paul George struggles in the playoffs again, when he's kind of only really, struggled in the playoffs with the Dallas series, that last game 7 against the Nuggets, and then a few games he was in OKC, which is only like 4 instances, but everything else he's actually been playing pretty good in the playoffs. The most scrutinized thing he gets essentially hated on is obviously the Damian Lillard shot. But then again, it's like, listen, Damian Lillard made a really good shot. There's nothing you can do about that. So regardless, next guy up, Reggie Jackson. It wasn't too long ago when earlier this season I was kind of complaining about Reggie Jackson. And then too, even in the playoff series in the bubble, I was complaining heavily about Reggie Jackson on the fact that, this guy should not see the floor. And Reggie Jackson has come in when his number has been called upon, and he's come out and he's shown out. And that's the best thing I can ask for Reggie Jackson. So can I just say this? I'm going to give that man an applause, and I'm going to take everything back I said about Reggie Jackson. He's coming in, and he's playing lights out. This is the Reggie Jackson I need to see. Especially this is the type of Reggie Jackson I need to see in the playoffs. Because if I get this Reggie Jackson, not only for the rest of the season, if he gets the minutes, which he's rightfully deserved minutes until he starts stinking up the joint again, that's good. And if this is any indictment of what we can see from him in the playoffs, that's even better. Yes, I know the defensive liabilities, but if he's doing good things on offense, he's serviceable for the Clippers. He's definitely serviceable from the Clippers. He's good at hitting the spot-up three-point shot. He hasn't been so crazy when it comes to going and driving and laying up the ball, where you sometimes see him drive and you're just pulling your hair like, bro, what are you doing? He's actually driving and not doing some weird motion when it comes to laying up the ball. He's going up there and laying it and getting contact and getting fouled. So, listen, Reggie Jackson, he's definitely performing. He's playing his ass off, no lie, like he is. And that's what happens when you have an injury in your rotation and you don't get minutes. You need to take advantage of those chances so then the coaches can look at you and be like, he's actually playing really good. Maybe we should give you some minutes back. And personally, if you ask me, I personally think he's taking Luke Kennard's minutes. We'll get to Luke Kennard in a second. Marcus Morris Sr. hit another solid game. 11 points. That's the more thing you can ask. And I love the press conference where he says, I want to be with this team I want to be on this Clippers team or I want to be on the Clippers, whenever they win their first championship. I want to be on the team that wins the first championship. And trust me, if we do it this year, mission accomplished. So, yeah. Zubac, he had another good game. He's just doing all the good, right things. I still do think the referees do not call, them loose ball fouls other players be doing on him. Like, literally, every time I watch a Clipper game, guys are either pulling his arms down or just jumping over his damn back. And there's no loose ball foul calls. I'm starting to get really upset. Like, he's really getting handled in the paint, and people are not getting called for it. They literally flat out, abuse Zubac, when he's trying to get second chance rebounds and stuff like that. So, yeah. Lou Williams, he struggled again today. Listen, I've already said my thing about Lou Williams. He definitely needs to play better. But again, he's becoming a liability. We don't know what it is. It could be because of that quad injury he had, or the fact that obviously Father Time is catching up with him. I don't know, but he's becoming a liability, especially with some of the decisions he makes and stuff like that. Because there was one time on the defensive possession, quickly, came up the court and pulled up for a three, and there was nobody to be found. And that was actually Lou Williams' guy he was supposed to cover. And I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Because that shot could have changed the game, and it could have been one of the shots where you look back and like, oh, the Clippers would have lost that game because they freaking shot. But, yeah, regardless. Terrence Mann, he came in and played some pretty solid average defense. He's been getting some more minutes as of late, obviously because of Patrick Beverley. But, hey, if he's coming in and he's being productive, fine. I do think when he gets those moments, I feel like if he wants to improve his jump shot game, he might need to start taking some looks. listen, I know Terrence Mann is not the best jump shooter, but there were some times where he had some pretty good looks from three. He didn't take him. And I'm like, well, how are you ever going to improve yourself as a as a jump shooter if you're not willing to take the shots? You can't, be a layup player forever. You're going to have to expand your game eventually. So hopefully, if he does get more minutes, when he's got an open look, I just say pull it and take it. You never know. You might actually make it, So we'll have to see. Now, obviously, the last person I'm going to get to is Luke Kennard, who only played 11 minutes this game and only had 6 points. He had 1 3 in the third quarter and then 1 3 in garbage time. And listen, we're about a fourth way or a third way of the season done, and I'm already having issues with Luke Kennard. Listen, I said to start off the year, Luke Kennard, give him some benefit of the doubt. Listen, it's fine. But hey, Luke Kennard needs to now be more aggressive. And what I mean is this. There's too many times in the last couple of games that Luke Kennard has had these good looks, like these really good looks where there's a defender that's barely around him. Like, yeah, they're in his vicinity, but all he has to do when he gets that look, just pull it and shoot it for three. Like, I don't know why he's passing it up and then he dribbles into an issue and then he gets stuck and then he's either forcing up a shot or he's passing it out to somebody else to make even a tougher shot or just get a better shot for themselves. And it's like, if you're going to be doing that, what's the point of you playing if you're not going to take the looks? Like, there are times not only in that Orlando Magic game, the Miami Heat game, the Atlanta Hawk game, this game includedly, he had looks. They give the Clippers, give him a good look, and they don't, and he doesn't go up. He just pump fakes and then dribbles around them and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, come on. Just shoot the ball. There was an instant in this game where, the Clippers are on a fast break. They pass to Lou Williams, and he's wide open. He pulls the shot. Even though he missed the shot, he still took the shot. If that was Luke Kennard, they pass at him, he pump fakes, and then he somewhat does something else, which utterly kills the momentum of that possession. So, my thing with Luke Kennard is this. If he wants playing time, if he wants to get more minutes, he's going to have to let it fly. When he gets a good look, when there's nobody around, let it fly, man. His confidence is literally getting to when Landry Shamet was on this team. And we all know Luke Kennard's a better shooter, a better playmaker. Yes, the playmaking option's good. We want to see the shooting. I don't care if Luke Kennard goes 1 for 11 from three-point. If I know he's shooting it like a shooter should, guess what? That means your confidence is fine because I know you're going to keep shooting it till the lights go off. If he had Patrick Patterson's confidence from shooting, because every time Patrick Patterson plays, it don't matter. He shoots the ball every time he gets in. If he's got a look, he shoots it. That's how I expect Luke Kennard to play. But he's not doing that. And in this game, there was a part after Ty Lue called a timeout, and it was early into Luke Kennard's, playing in the game. Ty Lue just yanked him and just sat him on the bench for the rest of the quarter. Essentially told him, well, if you're not going to be shooting the good looks, what's the point in playing you? And listen, like I said, Reggie could be taking Luke Kennard's minutes. Again, we've heard not only on broadcasts, but even in the press conferences from Ty Lue and other players that they've been stressing to Luke Kennard, listen, just shoot it, man. Just shoot it. Have the confidence within yourself to shoot it. And listen, if he's going to be passive, maybe we were wrong to give him that deal we got at the start of the season. Maybe we should have just waited, saw what he did this year, and if it was, good enough to say, okay, you deserve a contract to come back. But hey, people in the organization, people on the staff need to tell this man, listen, we're paying you way too much money to be very passive, and we're paying you way too much money to sit on the bench. Because definitely, if he's going to be sitting on the bench like that, the management is going to be mad at Ty Lue, be like, bro, why are you not paying a guy that we're paying a lot of money for? And if Ty Lue has to go back and be like, listen, he's not playing up to what you're paying him. He's passing up shots. He's not confident in himself. And, I can't play guys that are not going to play like that. Listen, hopefully Luke Kennard gets his confidence and he just pulls it. And hopefully going forward, and again, hopefully the players on the team and the coaching staff grazing his head, listen, we're not mad at you, man. We just want you to take the shot that is open. We give you a look, take it. Do not feel afraid of the moment. It's okay if you miss. Because guess what? You'll get another chance, and guess what? You can make it. We have complete trust in you. The Clippers played this man 40 years, $64 million. That shows you this team has confidence in him. So he has to have confidence within himself to take the next step and take those open looks. Because at the same time, like the bad Reggie plays always stress out my hair, I'm freaking ripping out my hair when he passes up a really good three-point shot. Anyways, that's all I got to say. The Clippers got the W. We're on Tuesday to play the Nets, which is, I think, going to be a really good game and a really good test for this Clippers team. This is definitely a potential finals preview. So we're going to see if the Clippers can do their best to contain James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. That's going to be a huge thing. I definitely do think this might be a close game. I can see the Clippers losing this game. I can see the Clippers winning this game. We're just going to see. It's going to come down to who plays the better defense. I think if the Clippers play better defense, that will solidify them to win, as well as limiting and containing what KD, Harden, and Irving can do. If you have these guys going off, I'm saying it's going to be hard to overcome that. Oh, yes. And then one more thing I forgot to mention. The one thing I did not like is how lazy the Clippers are when it comes to rebounding the ball. There was few instances in this game the Clippers had chances to get these loose ball rebounds after the Knicks missed a shot, but they were just standing around like the rebound or like the ball was going to come to them and they were going to get it instead of, I don't know, having the extra energy to go get the damn ball yourself. There's too many times I'm getting upset at this team, and this has been a thing since last year. I don't know if they need to do some rebounding drills in practice to have a little bit more hustle to getting to the ball, but every time I see the Clippers get a stop and then they do not hustle or they do not have an energy or do not have the passion to get the rebound, usually it ends up in the team who gets back their own missed shot and they get either a three or they just go get a quick floater or a quick layup for two. And then you're like, bro, that point never happens. They don't get that basket if you just rebound the ball. For example, quickly, he missed a three-point shot. There were 4 Clippers in the area, and you're not telling me they could have not had any energy to make a damn to get the damn rebound. No, they let the ball bounce. They all look at it like clueless idiots, and they have Emmanuel quickly just run up, get his own rebound, and lay it up for a floater, and he gets 2 points. Wake up, guys. You got to get the rebounds because rebounds like that, especially in playoff time, can be critical baskets that could change a game. If you get a stop and get the rebound, guess what? That helps you. But if you just stand around like statues and let the ball try to come to you, guess what? The team's just going to be like, okay, fine. You don't want it? Boom, we'll take it and we'll get either a 3 by kicking it out or we'll just get a quick floater, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that is something Ty Lue and I think the coaching staff needs to stress out going forward because that is an issue that I hate seeing, and it happens time in, time again. It's a game after game. I don't know why the Clippers are very lazy when it comes to rebounding the ball. I don't know why. It's looking more like a habit than something that they need to turn around. They need to stop that because there's too many times they stand around and look like idiots waiting for the ball to come to them when they should take the initiative to go get the ball themselves. And it's really pissing me off that they do that because then next time that I see that happen, they only kick it out to somebody for three, or they just go float the ball and they make the basket. And you're like, what the hell? You might as well just have given the basket the first time then. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. I'm sorry for my little mini rant about the rebounding, but that's what I wanted to say. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll see you guys back on Tuesday night for the Clippers game recap against the Brooklyn Nets. Hopefully in a W, which will get them their fourth straight, W in a row. The only bad part after the Nets game is it's on a back-to-back. I don't know why the hell the league gave us 2 back-to-backs on a 6-game road trip. That's so damn stupid. Like, why would you give us a back-to-back, road trip? Okay, yeah, you have us a back-to-back Heat, Orlando. Now you have us flying from friggin' Brooklyn to Cleveland. I don't know if Kawhi Leonard will play that game, but we'll see. It will probably be bad. I don't think he would play that game, if I'm being honest. But he played the first back-to-back of the season we ever had. So who knows? They'll probably load manage against the Cleveland Cavaliers because the Clippers should have enough, I guess you can say enough to take on and beat the Cavs without him. But that's just me. I think we close out the road game trip against the Celtics, who I'm pretty pissed off that they couldn't beat the damn Lakers. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully, you guys, a great rest of your Sunday. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Clippers, your thoughts on the rebounding issue, as well as the Luke Kennard issue. Do you think he'll lose his minutes if he doesn't step his game up? As well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Clippers content going forward. Till then, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.